interesting day. But let's go ahead and get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Q&A session with me, Jordan Steen, also known as Serial Entrepreneur. Excuse me, just got done eating some birria tacos, or burrito tacos as Americans typically say. Just so y'all know, I'm a fantastic cook. Absolutely destroyed those tacos. Man, they're good. Like, if you haven't had a burrito taco or a birria taco, you need to. Trust me. But let's get into the point of today's video, guys. Welcome, everybody, marketing agency owners. If this is your first time watching, what I typically do is I'm going to take a little bit to let some people hop in, say hello to my followers and to people who hop on the stream. If you guys are here live right now, you can go ahead and start saying hello, put your name in the chat, hit the thumbs up button for me. Always helps the performance of the video. But again, if you are watching the replay, you can flash forward just a little bit, about 5-ish minutes. And we should get into the Q&A portion of today's video. I'm super excited because, as the title says, I'm launching a training boot camp that's for free for marketing agency owners. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, along with obviously the Q&A portion of tonight's call. So pretty excited about that. It's going to be a really great event, some really awesome training for people who are trying to start an agency. So I'm really excited to be able to put together this boot camp for you guys and to be able to get you guys involved. So that way you can really, because here's the thing. Here's the reason why I wanted to put this boot camp together. You know, if you followed me for a while, then you've seen that, I've been doing just the training portion of this for 4 years. I've been in digital marketing for over 10 years. I've run my agency for a little over 4 years. And, but getting back to the training portion of it and the teaching side, I've had about 6,000 people come through my training programs. And that being said, when you start to do it that much and you have that many people coming through, you start to notice trends, right? It's pretty much like taking a survey, using data to determine what's going on with the training industry. And so what I realized is, after, thousands of students have come through these programs that I offer, a lot of them typically go through more than one program. They're not just going through mine. What's actually funny is ours is one of the final ones that they end up at, that they always come to me and say, man, I wish I would have found this program first. It teaches the agency training so much better in a way that actually makes sense. But even with having an amazing training, what I realized very quickly was that even though I'm putting these training materials together, it's still difficult for people to reach their goals with their agency. Now, granted, a lot of people who come through these programs are looking for a get-rich-quick type of idea. They don't really want to work for it. But there are a lot of people also in these groups that want to work for it as well. And the issue is, even with those people that have the drive, they have the determination, they really want to truly be an agency owner and a business owner, what I've noticed is they still struggle. And it's because they don't have the right information to make the right decisions. So what I mean by that is, for example, components that make up a successful agency. Everybody gets in this game and they think the first thing that they need to do is learn a little bit about digital marketing, not really a lot, and then just go out and start selling and getting clients. And the issue is it's just not how it works. For the most part, getting clients is actually pretty easy when you have the proper training. But the issue is, a lot of people skip on the digital marketing side. What they don't realize is, by skipping the digital marketing training portion of a program, or by skimming through it so you at least know the basics, you actually are missing out on a specific trait that you need to have when it comes to sales, which is product knowledge. The more you know about your product, the easier it is for you to be able to explain and confidently talk about it, and obviously then in turn sell that product to people who could potentially buy it, i.e. business owners, right? So the biggest issue is that I'm finding is a lot of people they're taking the training materials at different points in time. Like some people start with the sales aspects, some people go into the digital marketing side of it. Very rarely do people actually go into the operations side, and I mean this is really included in operations, but building your team of qualified and professional digital marketing experts that actually know what they're doing. And, there's an actual order of operations to all of this. So you guys have taken math, which all of us have or should have by now. You've heard of the term order of operations, right? PEMDAS. You don't multiply before you take care of the parentheses, right? Or you don't do division or any of that before you take care of what's inside the parentheses. That's the first step. And if you do, then you get the entire equation wrong, right? Well, the same thing is happening with digital marketers is number one, they don't know what all they have to learn, which in the grand scheme of things can be broken down into 6 parts. All right. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So there's really 6 things you have to learn to build a successful agency that a lot of people don't really talk about. The second thing is you need to do them in the right order, because if you do them out of order, you're not going to get the end result that you want, which is a successful agency, because you're going to be missing big pieces of the agency, of the business that actually make it function as one unit, right? And so again, this is the reason why I wanted to create this free boot camp, this training boot camp is it's not going to be a full-on, digital marketing course by any means, because that course, I mean, it was 30 hours. I'd have to sit on a live call for close to 40 hours if you take into consideration pauses and breaks and all of that. So, I can't obviously put an entire course in this training boot camp. It is 3 days, but what I'm going to be able to explain to you guys and teach you guys is the most valuable piece of information you need to be able to understand, and you have to understand if you want a successful agency. And the funny thing is, I'll teach this to people and they still will try to do it their own way when I'm giving you the formula that builds a successful business in the agency space. All right. And so what this program is meant to do is really, like 2 things. First, we're going to teach you all of the pieces that you need to understand and that you need to learn about before you start going and getting clients. Clients is the very last step of building your agency, of the training, of all of that. And really, if you include training, it's 7 parts, okay? So that's the last step. Yet so many people come into this business and they try to go out and get clients first, which makes absolutely 0 sense. That's like saying you're going to open a doctor's office, but before you go to medical school, you're going to go out and start trying to line up patients. What person in their right mind is going to buy from you, number 1, or is going to let you be their doctor? Number 2, even if you could sell somebody on the fact that you were going to be a doctor and they could use you, you don't know what the hell to do. You don't know how all of this works to make sure that you don't get sued at the end of the day and lose your practice, right? So we're going to teach you all of the components that you need to have in place, that you need to learn to build a successful $20,000, $50,000 per month agency. And then on top of all of the pieces you need to learn about, all of the pieces you need to have in place, we're going to teach you the correct order to work on these pieces for your agency. Because again, if you go out of order, you are already setting yourself up to fail. And again, here's the thing. I get it, right? Most of you're either coming out of a career and that's why you decided to do this. Maybe you're working between jobs and you're just ready to get out of your 9 to 5. Maybe you're fresh out of college, you're living at your parents' house and you're just trying to make this so you can move out of your parents' house. Who knows? But at the end of the day, those people that I'm talking about, they want to start selling because they want to start making money for their business so that way they can make the next move in their life, right? So that way they can leave that 9 to 5 and do this full time, or so that way they can move out of their parents, or so that way they can stop working 2 jobs, or so that way they can have more time with their friends and family or doing the things that they want to do. I get that. But again, you can go and land clients all day, But if you do not have the internal operations set up, if you don't have your SOPs in place, which is really the biggest part of running your agency and making it successful, if you don't have these pieces in place, how are you going to make it? It doesn't matter how many clients you land, because every single one of those now you have to build marketing campaigns for. All right. So what are the steps to building a website? What are the steps to implementing SEO? How do you do both of those things at the same time and make sure that it's done in a quick amount of time and effectively, right? Efficiently and effectively. How do you do that if you haven't actually laid out the steps and what should be done in what order, right? It's very, very hard to be able to do, guys. So that's what we're going to talk about. So, and for those of you jumping in, I'm hosting a free, training boot camp for marketing agency owners where we're going to discuss those things. It's 6 parts really when it comes to, once you get past the learning part. If you want to include the training and the learning part, it's 7 pieces that you need to go through. And then what order you should be taking these in. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up just so I can make sure I get the order right, because I'm going off the top of my head and I just don't want to say something out of order for you guys. I know the order, but I don't want to have to think about it and have an image that we've been using. Okay, so what we're actually, oh, sorry guys, I forgot that's where my camera is. So let me minimize this a little bit so I can see. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to talk about in the training. If you haven't joined the group yet, we have a group, and it's only open for 14 days, just so you guys know. So you need to get in it and pay attention and make sure that you're showing up for the live trainings. If you don't make it to a live training because you have something else going on, you need to make sure you get in the very next day and watch the replay. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up this private group. It's going to be open for 14 days. And inside the group, you can ask questions, you can comment, you can do really whatever you want as far as learning about digital marketing and asking questions about the training that we're going through. And the goal is obviously to get you guys on the right path and to offer obviously more help or further training past that if you need more help. So it's going to look like this. First, it's going to be 3 days of live training with me. All right. So I'm going to get on. It's going to be a live call in the Facebook group. You guys will be able to comment, ask questions while we're live. I'll probably hold the questions until the end because it's going to be a formal training and I want to make it through. But it's going to be a great place for you guys to learn. And so here's what the 3 days are going to look like. And these are actually in order what you need to do and how you need to do it to be able to build a successful agency, okay? So who's ready to hear about the 6 steps? Before I get in it, if you guys are in here, are you paying attention? Who's interested in learning more about that? Who wants to learn about what's going to be in the training? Who's excited for the training? Has everybody in here already joined the private group? Again, it's a private group. It's we're only allowing so many people. I think we've already got 130 people in the group. I think we're only going to max it out at like 300, and we just opened it yesterday. So people are joining very, very quickly. So you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention and that you get enrolled in this group as quickly as possible. But who's interested, in learning about it? Have you guys already signed up for it? I'm curious to see, who all's already joined or who's, interested, I guess, in learning more. And just so you guys know, it's going to be next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the 3 training days that we're scheduled to go on for. And we're going live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that way you guys can save it to your calendars. But, so if you want the link to join, right in the description, like right below this video, there's a link in the description. All you have to do is click that. It's going to take you over to Facebook and then request to join, and then we'll approve you once we get through it. But here's going to be the breakdown. Actually, let me see if I'm going to just bring it up real quick so that way you guys can see it too. All right. Get YouTube back up. Okay, so here's the breakdown. Let me make sure it's showing properly. Okay, cool. So day 1 or part 1, the first thing we're going to talk about is picking and understanding your niche. And a lot of you might say, oh no, I get this. That's the easy part. Well, you might actually be wrong. Like I said, I have a Done With You agency program. And in the Done With You program, we actually work directly with our students one-on-one to make sure that they're making the right choices when they first launch their business. And I can't tell you how many people have come in and said the most outlandish niches ever. Like I can't believe some of the niches that people want to try and target sometimes. It just doesn't make sense to me. So picking and understanding the niche, because picking the niche is easy, but then we're going to talk about understanding your niche, and understanding the niche leads you into the next part. Everybody thinks, oh, I can just sell Facebook ads. Oh, I can just sell, I can just do websites. And yeah, you can just do websites, but with a lot of businesses, you can't just do Facebook ads, and that's what you've been led to believe. There's actually a lot of industries, a lot of different types of companies out there where Facebook ads actually doesn't make sense, and we'll talk about that during this section in the training. So that way you guys start to understand a little bit better what you need to do to really thrive in the industry, but also to get really great results for your niche. Because again, if you don't get results for your clients, you're not going to have them very long. The second part of day one is we're going to talk about selecting your service offering to best help your niche. If you guys have ever heard me talk about, I created an acronym a long time ago called SWEPS. And what SWEPS stands for is social media marketing, website design and development, email marketing, and text message marketing and automation, pay-per-click marketing, also known as Google Ads, and then SEO. That is what makes up the majority of the service offering available from digital marketing agencies, okay? Again, as I mentioned, not every service offering makes the most sense for every single niche. So we're going to talk about, different types of niches. I'm going to let some of the students who are on the call tell me the niche that they're considering going after. And then we're going to talk about services that are going to work best for those niches. So that way you guys get a better understanding of how you should actually align your service offering given the niche that you're trying to target, or the niche, for those of you that like the word the niche better than niche. All right, so that's day one. We're going to pick and understand the niche. We're going to talk about picking a niche. We're going to talk about niches you should avoid. We're going to talk about how you know a niche is good or bad. We're going to talk about signs to look for in a niche to understand the business better. We're going to talk about their customers. And then after that, we're going to talk about the service offering that you should be offering these different niches based on the type of business that they're running and their customers. Because again, it isn't about you and your agency. That's where a lot of people get hung up. It's actually more, and it isn't even about necessarily the client that you're working with. It's about the client's customers. That is what actually helps you decide the best service offering available for the niche you're going to target. All right? Day two, or part two, we're going to talk about pricing your services for profit. Because here's the biggest issue, guys. I can't tell you guys how many times I've talked to students, and if you guys have taken my DMS 2.0 or if you're in my Done With You program, you know that my mentality about running an agency is very different from a lot of these other trainers. And the reason why is this. A lot of the other trainers are telling you, go learn Facebook ads, start running Facebook ads. And on top of that, learn website development, learn SEO, learn PPC, learn email marketing. Just go learn it all and do it all yourself. And here's the issue with that. Number one, what happens is agency owners start pricing their services according to just them managing the campaigns, meaning the only person you're really paying is yourself. You might have some odd jobs that you get done, some small stuff like maybe you get a graphic designer to do a logo or something, but that's really it. Other than that, you're the one managing all the work. So if I price the services according to just me being the only person working on these jobs, what happens? Well, I get 10 clients, right? Or you probably won't even make it to that many. I get 6 clients. I already have 5, I get my 6th. I have no more bandwidth left unless I want to work 100-hour weeks every single week. I have no more bandwidth to be able to manage 6 clients and all of their campaigns running at one time. All right, so what happens? That means I need to hire someone. But I've priced the services according to only me working in the campaign. What does that mean? I can't hire VAs. I can't build a team. I can't expand past 6 clients because my price point's off and because I can't handle any more work. So I'm screwed, right? The other side of this is people are just winging numbers out there. They're hearing people talk about, just do 1,000, 2,500, and 5,000, and that's going to be your packages. Okay, cool. What are you offering in each package? Because if you, let's say at the $2,500 mark, you're going to do a brand new website, you'll do 10 pages, you'll manage their Facebook ads and Google ads and Instagram ads, you'll run their email marketing text message campaign, you'll also do their SEO. What am I missing? That's it, right? And you'll create content for them. You'll do content marketing, so you're going to write blog content, stuff like that. Okay, that's great, but how much is all of this going to cost you? If you are building the team and you're doing it the right way, where you start off building a team from your very first client, you should be building a team of people. And if you price your services properly, you'll be able to build a team and still be able to pay yourself and have them manage the campaign. And guess what you're doing? You're managing the team, right? Because you guys all want to be CEOs, right? You're all a president or an owner of a business, all right? What owner of a big business, 6-figure, 7-figure business, is actually doing the day-to-day work? None of them. What is the owner doing? The owner's working on building people, building processes, working with other executives within their company who then manage the employees of the company. So why would it make sense for you guys to be managing and running the campaigns yourself? You should be hiring experts to manage the campaigns, and you guide them and come up with strategy and manage clients and manage the sales process and your sales team, right? That's how you grow your business. Yet too many people are stuck managing the services themselves, again, because they didn't price their services properly. Now they can't afford to grow. They can't afford to hire other VAs without going to their clients and say, hey, by the way, this month your services are going to be $2,000 more expensive than usual because I need to build a team. Otherwise, I can't do your marketing. Then what happens? That client's like, all right, well, I'm done. I don't need your services anymore. That's ridiculous. Why did we jump up $2,000 in a month, right? And so this is where people mess up. They don't price their services appropriately, and so they're not able to build a team, or maybe they build a team, but then they're just throwing numbers out, so they don't actually know if they're profitable. And then people end up they'll run for 3-4 months, and then all of a sudden, they can't pay the bills, they can't pay their VAs, because they've been spending more than they're making to manage these campaigns, all right? So this is a big issue. Understanding pricing is so important in the business, and if you don't have your pricing right, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how good you are at running campaigns, you're not going to be profitable, which means you won't remain in business. So pricing your services for profit. We're going to talk about the service offering again, and then we're going to move into how to price that service offering appropriately so that way you're able to remain in business and, again, build your team, which is down here in part 3 we'll talk about a little bit. The second part of part 2 is building your SOPs and workflows. Again, guys, this is the backbone of your entire business. Because let's look at it like this. Let's say I do build a team, right? I get the team in place. I've already priced my services appropriately. I understand my niche. I understand the services that are going to work with the niche. But now I have to start running campaigns. I have to start onboarding clients. I have to do all of the day-to-day operations. Well, the issue is people don't actually document and build standard operating procedures, which is what SOPs stands for, or workflows, that my company is going to use to run on a day-to-day basis. So what happens? I go out, I get a client, they want website, they want SEO, they want Google ads, and they want Facebook ads, all right? And let's say they want email and text message marketing for follow-up and CRM management. Great. Well, I get done selling, I'm super excited, I got a check in my hand, but then what happens? I get back to the office, and I sit down and I realize I'm just going to go to my website manager and say, hey, I need you to build a website. They're going to ask you 10,000 questions over the next 2 months because 2 months is how long it's going to take you to possibly finish the site on time. You're going to look at your SEO manager and say the same thing. Hey, I need you to do the SEO for the site, but you don't have steps. For example, research, audit, build out a task list. Once the task list is done, start implementing pieces of SEO. After the first month is done and you've implemented the initial pieces, where are you going next, right? What happens on the month to month after you've basically implemented the SEO campaign and the keywords on the site? What do you do, right? Same thing with the ad campaign. All right, so you get the ad campaign launched. How many times a month are you optimizing the campaign and adjusting? How many times are you adjusting creative? How do you know what to do when you need creative? All of these steps essentially work in place and in conjunction with each other to make sure that the campaign not only comes out the right way, but that it gets finished on time. A big thing with agencies, guys, is understanding that your clients are not going to wait around forever. And if you don't start getting them results after the end of month 2, that's when most businesses end up firing their agency, is because they're not starting to see any traction after month 2. Why? Because I'm paying you a couple $1,000s a month. I've already invested, month one, let's say I did a $7,000 investment, and that's going to get my website SEO, PPC campaign set up, email text message campaign, CRM, all of that set up, hosting, all of that, right? Then month two comes along and you come to me and tell me, oh, well, we're not done with the website quite yet. It's going to take us another month, which means you can't run ads. So because you have to have a website or at least a landing page to be able to send these ads to. So you're not generating any results. You're not getting any business for the client. And what's happened? Well, they've paid you close to 11 grand and you haven't developed any new clients for them. You haven't made them any money back. So why would I keep paying you? I'm not. Most agencies that are successful, not most, all agencies that are successful have SOPs in place. And what these allow us to do is the very first day we come back with a check, we literally go to our project management software that we use. We click a few buttons, we assign people tasks, we set due dates, and boom, guess what's happening? The campaign is already being completed, right? And that's why my agency, we're able to build a 20-page website with SEO integrated into the site, a couple landing pages, custom design, custom graphics, copywriting, all of that in a matter of 30 days. And that's after, and really we're doing that in about 2.5 weeks, because what we do is we take about the first week to a week and a half to do research, to study the niche, to understand the business, their clients, the geography, everything surrounding that business. So we're finishing a website in 2.5 weeks, a 20-page full SEO website, full copy, full graphic design. And I'm not talking about copy like 250 words on a page. We're talking about 750 to 1,500 words on each page being done in a matter of 2.5 weeks. Without these SOPs, ladies and gentlemen, you will fail. I promise you, you will fail. Your agency will not exist. And again, here's the problem. You see this part down here where it says, build your system to land clients consistently and scale? Everybody tries to do this before they do all of this right here. And this is why businesses fail. This is why agencies fail. Because they aren't doing the right things in the right order. They don't know what they need to do, which is the list, and they don't know what order to do them in, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you do them out of order, you're going to struggle. All right, so now let's move on to part 3, day 3, what we're going to talk about. All right, so we've covered understanding and picking the niche. We've talked about the service offering. We've talked about pricing them so that way you can make a profit. We've talked about the SOPs so that way you're able to run day-to-day operations for your agency. Now what's next? We need to build a solid team. SOPs stands for Standard Operating Procedures, again, or workflows. But now that we have our SOPs in place, we know what services we're going to offer, we know what price point we're trying to start with, we need to build our team. And this is where actually what you're going to do is once you build your team, you're going to go back and your price might adjust a little bit. And we'll talk about that in a second and why. But I need to build my team. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to look at the services that I plan on offering. That's going to tell me who I need to hire, right? And then I need to look at my SOPs and figure out how all of these different people are going to fit within the operational side of my business, right? So then I'm going to look at building the team. Well, now what I'm going to do is if you're just starting off and you don't have clients, what you're going to do is go to platforms like Upwork, FreeUp, Freelancer.com, Fiverr, whatever you plan to use, Facebook groups, whatever, and you're going to start hiring these people. Now, again, you don't have any work to give them, so guess what? You're not paying them, and really, technically, you're not even hiring them. What you're doing is you're going to these people and you're building lists of all the different positions of people, and you're finding people to fill those holes, so that way when you do get a client, you're ready to get up and running. And trust me, these freelancers, as soon as you say, hey, I got work for you, they're going to be excited and happy to jump on that campaign for you. So what you're doing is you're actually going out there and building your team and saying, hey, look, I don't have clients just yet, but we have, I have a strong, dedicated team. We have a sales process in place that's gonna really, really do well. And I need to start putting people, and even though you haven't put your sales system in place, you don't need to worry about that. You're just talking to the VAs to get them on board. As soon as we get new clients, though, I need somebody who's going to be there to be able to take care of SEO or front-end web development, back-end web development, analytics, whatever, right? Okay, cool. So you don't have any work right now, but you're telling me that you're going to bring me work in the future. Yep, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And every single one of them, I've never had a VA, unless they're just already busy and they're like, no, I've got other people that are asking me to work for them. I'm not going to be able to stick around. Fine. Go on and find a different one. But you will find VAs very easily that are like, yeah, just text me, message me, email me, whatever. Whenever you get a job, I'll be happy to take that work on. All right? And you can do all of this before you start getting clients, which you should do. Because here's what happens. Again, you go out, you land a client, they want all of the services like I mentioned earlier. Now what happens? Now you're rushing to go to Upwork if you're doing it the right way and building your team from the very get-go. If you're building your team from the start, you're doing it the right way. But if you go out there and you don't have your team in place and you land that deal, now again, you're going to Upwork, all of these places, and sometimes it takes a week, sometimes 2 weeks to find the right fit for that person to fill that position. All right? So what happens? You don't get someone, like, let's say you're not the greatest web designer and it takes you about a week and a half to find a really great web designer that actually fits with your fits with your business. They're going to vibe well with your other contractors, and also they're at a good rate. Well, you're already a week into the campaign from the client. They've already paid you and you haven't even started planning out the website. So now you're in trouble, right? Now you're trying to rush to get this website done, and guess what? It's probably not going to come out the best. And it's not going to do justice for the client, which means they won't make as much money, which means they're not going to be happy, right? So, building the team, super important. And there's a lot we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all of the different positions you need to have for your agency. We're going to talk about costs and how much each of those positions should cost you. That way you have a guide or something to use to understand how much you should be spending on each position. And then again, what you're going to do is once you figure out the cost for all of your team, we're going to talk about how you come up with your price to generate profit, but you're going to go back and you're going to adjust your price with actual costs, because before you're kind of projecting what costs could be. So that way you can at least get a baseline. Then you're going to hire your team and you're going to figure out if that cost analysis you did actually works out with the price point you're trying to work with. Okay? Then after you build your team, you're going to do the final thing, the final part. Guys, the final part. I'm going to say it a couple more times because I want you guys to really get this. This is the final part. Stop going out and trying to get clients before you've done all of this stuff. I'm so serious. You guys don't understand how much this hurts your business every single time. I've seen 6,000 students come through my program. Trust me when I say I know what I'm talking about, okay? Take my word for it. I've seen it happen every single time. I would say that someone tries to go out there and land clients, they either, one of two things happen. They do a terrible job, get bad reviews, and quit because they don't want the stress that just came with it. Or, number two, they get a bad review, they lose their client, they have to go back, they have to rebuild all of this shit right here that I've been talking about and do it anyway. Now they're 6 months into building their agency and they've got to do all of this. It's going to take them another 4 to 6 months. And so now they're almost a year into running their agency and they still have gotten no traction with their business. Versus doing it the first time, doing it the first go around, and doing it the right way, and then working on landing clients and building that system. Right? Why would you want to do something more than once? Why would you want to? My dad always told me when I was growing up, he's like, you know, he'd always get on to me about it. He's like, I don't know why you do it the wrong way the first time. When I gave you clear instruction on how to do it the right way, you decided you were going to do it some other way that you thought was going to work better. And it ended up biting you in the ass because now you're having to sit here and do it over again. And you've wasted all this time. Like, you want to go outside and play with your friends, but now you're going to have to spend another 3 hours doing the same thing because you didn't do it right the first time. Right? Same kind of concept here, guys. So now that we're through the first 5 parts of the business building process, now we can get into step 6 and start building our sales process. First, guys, look, don't just go out there and try to start selling. Come up with an actual process for your sales efforts, okay? You should have a very clearly defined process. Setting appointments, closing deals, onboarding. You need to know what's happening. What platforms are you using to find those people that you're going to set appointments with? What type of script are you going to use? Are you going to have follow-up marketing with email and text messages to remind people of appointments, because people will forget about appointments and you'll have a ton of no-shows. Trust me. You're always going to have no-shows in this business, but you can minimize the amount of no-shows by putting email and text message reminder campaigns together. Once somebody jumps into a campaign or an automation of some kind, because you've put them somewhere in your CRM and you have them lined up in that pipeline, once they hit that section of the pipeline, they begin a sequence that reminds them. So for example, ours is the appointment scheduled. section of the pipeline. Once they hit that portion of the pipeline, they are put into a new campaign that says, based on when their appointment is, it's going to start sending them emails and text messages to remind them, right? So we're minimizing the amount of people that aren't showing up to meetings. This is the process for our sales. Now that you have the process in place, then you can actually go and start executing the sales process. What's going to happen when you do it this way? You're going to get a client on. Guess what? Let's go through the list again. You're going to get a client on. You already understand their niche. You know what types of services you should be offering them and what's going to work. So you feel comfortable with the campaign. Great. So you start offering the best services to help your niche. You're able to get them results. They're happy. Guess what else? You've also priced your services properly, so you're not worried about not making a profit and paying the bills and paying all the VAs that run your team because you've priced your services to make sure that you're able to pay everybody. What happens after that? All right, you don't have to worry about the campaign getting built because you have SOPs in place that are going to ensure that you're able to get things done in a timely manner and build effective campaigns for your clients. On top of that, once you get the work put out there, and basically you plug in the campaigns in to be built into the SOP flow, guess what? You have your team that's able to take care of all of these different pieces of the campaign. And what happens next? You have other people that are going out there trying to land more clients, which is an exponential process where you start to stack clients on top of each other, money on top of money, and you're happy. And you want to know why you're happy is because you're going to have hard times, but trust me on this, and there's probably some people in here that are either in my courses or that have gone through this that will tell you if you do it the right way the first time, it's so much less stressful on you and your business. It's so much easier when you have a system that has already been proven to work in place and you follow that system. You guys that are brand new, you guys who try to do it on your own and figure it out, you crack me up because I don't know why you would want to intentionally waste time and effort when you could just follow a system that's already working and make improvements to that system, right? But follow the system and have a successful business. Why would you want to struggle? And that's what a lot of people are doing. So again, guys, this is that free training. Again, we're going to start it next Tuesday. It's going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 4 p.m. EST. The replays will be available inside of the private Facebook group, but you have to be a member in that private Facebook group. So if you don't join, you're going to miss out. And again, like I mentioned, it's only open for 14 days that you'll have access to all of that content. And we're only allowing a certain amount of people in. I think we're going to close it out at 300 so that way we can kind of interact and do small groups, stuff like that. So if you want to join, that's what I was trying to get at. Sorry, I was reading a comment. If you want to join, write down in the description below this video. So if you're on desktop, you'll click the little down arrow that's right below the video. If you click that, it's going to drop down the description. If you're on mobile, you need to close the mobile chat window. So hit X, and then you'll click the down arrow as well. You'll see the link. You can go there and join. And then all you're going to do from there is if you want the chat window back up and you're on mobile, just hit the little chat box. But guys, this is why I wanted to put this program together, is because too many people don't have the right information, or too many people take steps in the wrong order. And between those two pieces alone, if you do either one of those wrong, you're going to have either a really tough time and barely make any money, or you're just going to fail flat out. So I'm tired of, all of these other agency owners and trainers out there trying to say, they know what they're doing, and then they teach you guys steps in the wrong order, or they don't teach you how to properly price your services. They don't talk about SOPs. Like, I can't believe that more agency trainers don't talk about the operation side. It blows my mind because I buy these courses to see what they're about and to see how they stack up to mine, and because they're cheap. But it blows my mind because I'm looking through this and I'm like, why are people trusting this person who doesn't even know that operations is one of the biggest parts of running your agency? So let me say hello to everybody. Jacob, Raquel, Charles, Andrew, Charles again, Jason, what's going on? Meditation and soothing music. Hey, Jordan, first time here from India. Happy to have you. Donald, what's up? James, how you can't do cold email outreach with Mailgun because it will get banned, so no go high level of outreach should I use? We'll talk about that in a minute. I'll come back to that. Anybody else say hello that I missed? Kevin, what's up? Donald Edwards, I'm in Atlanta too. Jesus, what's up? Everybody who said what's up, man. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. I hope that little bit of information that I just gave you guys is insightful to you guys. But if you think that was something, again, wait until you get inside the free training boot camp that we're doing. It's insane. The amount of material that, these trainers leave out of their programs, it just blows my mind, because these are the correct steps to build a successful agency. And again, if you go outside of that window, you're screwed. Can anybody relate to that? Who was here from the very beginning that saw that entire little mini presentation that I just did? Who can relate? Who's gone through that experience and feels like they're struggling with exactly what I just talked about? Karen saying, yes, you were so right. Raquel saying, yes, sir. I think that's a she. Yeah, she. Sorry, I couldn't tell if that was a guy or if it was like Raquel or something. But Raquel, I think I got that right. She's agreeing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. Who else? Jesus, I guess, is agreeing. Andrew's ready for the training. Raquel, again, if you didn't hear me earlier, it is down in the description. Same to you, DLC, it's down in the description. Meditation, I just told you as well. Karen, I'm glad you signed up. Thanks for joining. What's the name of the group? Thomas, just told you as well. DLC requested. Mine hitches money. Mine too. Super interesting in the mentor program. Where can I learn more? Oh, Tom, just got you as well. For us that already started and the process is a mess, LOL, how can we fix it? Bruna, you have to start creating processes. That's the thing. You have to look at all of the services you offer, and you need to create a process for every single service that you offer. Have clients now and you're struggling? I bet if you went outside of the order of operations for running your agency, I guarantee you, I literally Google and YouTube sequence of operation for SMMA and no one clearly talks about it. It is very much needed. So Donald, here's the thing. I'm not going to give you guys my SOPs. We're going to talk about SOPs and how to build them. And the reason why is because I actually sell my SOPs to other people, because I'll put it to you like this, guys. It cost us about $200,000 and about 1,000 man hours to build our SOPs for my agency. If that gives you guys any, insight as to what it took us to build our SOPs for our agency. However, I do sell our SOPs to agency owners. And what we do is we literally copy paste our SOPs over into a project management software that you can use along with training and everything like that. So if you're interested in buying the SOPs, that is an option. But what I would say is if you guys are attending or planning to attend that boot camp, you're going to learn a lot more about it there. So I would say check that out. But yeah, you won't find SOPs out there. And again, the reason why is because the SOPs are the most valuable portion to any business. And this isn't just agencies, guys. This is for attorneys. This is for anybody on the manufacturing companies. That's essentially, you guys have heard about like Ford, right? And the assembly line, right? What Ford did was build a physical SOP. That's essentially what he did. He built that the assembly line is the most physical version possible of an SOP, right? What did the assembly line do? It streamlined the process to building the car, right? Because otherwise, what were they doing? All right, we just got a bunch of parts. Let's start putting shit together. And you'd probably do it out of order. You'd put things together before they were really needed, and it didn't make sense. So the same thing with marketing campaigns is, like for example, one big thing is we're trying to minimize the amount of time it takes us to build a website, which we've done pretty well at. So for example, so let's say we finish the sitemap for a website and we can now start getting the copy built for the site because we know what keywords we want to target, and we can also start getting images together. So what happens? Well, people typically will do everything at one step at a time. You'll do the copy and then you'll do the images or the creative assets that go on each page. When in reality, what you should be doing is, what we do, at least in our system, we have our copywriter make suggestions as to what type of images should go on the page, because they are the ones who understand what's being talked about on the page versus making our designer go through and read every page and then figure out what types of images should be on the page. So we have our copywriter actually come up with ideas that they submit to the designer for each page to create images to go on each page, right? Or to supply images to go on each page. So what happens is, before we were doing it, what we were doing was the copywriter would write all of the suggestions for every page, and then we would kick off the images to be built for each page. When in reality, a copywriter can only work one page at a time, right? So let's say we have 10 pages. Well, they finished the first page. What does that mean they've done? They've already created the image ideas that should go on the first page. So what are we going to do? We're going to send those image ideas off to the designer instead of waiting for the copywriter to finish 10 pages. Why? Because that, finishing 10 pages, that could take a week and a half, right? It could take less, but it could take a week and a half. So does that mean I want to wait a week and a half for my designer to be able to start images when it could take her another week to create all the images that are going to need to be on all 10 pages? Or what I can do is say, when the copywriter finishes the first page, they're going to send the notes over to the designer. The designer is going to get started on the first page of images. Then what happens? By the time the copywriter has finished the second page, the designer's probably almost finished, or if not finished, with the images for the first page. So now they can start on the images for the second page while the copywriter begins the third page. This is what SOPs are. It's understanding the order of operations for creating campaigns for an agency, or for your clients within your agency. And again, without this, you will fail. I'm telling you guys right now, if you haven't looked at SOPs yet, if this is the first time you're hearing the word SOP, standard operating procedure, workflow, and you've already started your agency and you're trying to get clients, you're already going to be hurting. And I know the last thing you want to do is have to back up, stop trying to get clients, and go through the process of learning again and then build SOPs. I get that. But if you really want to save yourself some headache, if you want to make it as easy, because here's what's funny to me is people come in and they want it to be as easy as possible to make all this money. All right. But then they work harder trying to do the thing trying to do the job, which ends up making them go backtrack and do it over again and work 2 times as hard than they would have if they would have done things in the right order and taken the necessary steps to get their agency in the right spot so that way they can actually function properly. It's just so funny to me. These people want to come in and make money, and then they do it backwards, and then they end up having a harder time than if they would have taken a little extra time and built it out the right way, and then they would have less of a hard time. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm telling you right now, it's amazing to see all of this stuff happening, and then to see these gurus out here teaching you agency owners how to build your agency, and they don't even talk about this stuff. So I hope you guys have learned something tonight. At least you've learned the steps needed in the right order. Now you just need to learn a little bit more about each one of these, and you need deeper training inside of each one of them. Can vouch for Jordan's content, very valuable and comprehensive. Yeah, Charlton's been in pretty much all of my programs at this point. I need help, LOL. I have so much knowledge, but I'm stuck on something, analysis paralysis. Donald, again, show up to that training. It starts next week, and we can do that. How do you display value to justify price? Easy. You show them calculated projections. So when you're pitching a proposal, if you're going to pitch a proposal to someone, then if you're going to tell me, hey, I need you to spend $3,000 a month and we're going to put $1,500 in ads, so you're going to spend $4,500 a month. Cool. How much money do you project we're going to make from this campaign? That's where a lot of people miss in the proposal portion of this, is they go out and they try to sell, and they lay down the number, but they don't justify the number with what we can actually do. And the thing is, you can call it guesstimation if you want, but really, guys, we're using data from other campaigns to support the amount that we're asking for that company for. Right? So if I charge $4,500, what I do is I go look at SEO data, how much traffic we can potentially send to their website after we build the website properly and we implement SEO. That's the organic side. And then after that, I'm going to look at the paid side, so Google ads, Facebook ads, stuff like that, and I'm going to get a projection of how much traffic we think is going to come to the website from paid ads. All right, and then what we do is we look at the total traffic and we look at conversion rates in the industry. Most businesses in digital marketing are converting anywhere from 1 to 10%, 10% being like e-commerce companies. that sell lower ticket products. 1% being most service-based businesses, pretty much just most service-based businesses, higher ticket products, things like that. Restaurants, they can close at a 10% easy. Again, cheap e-commerce products, they can close at 8 to 10%. But if you're working with local businesses, chiropractors, roofing companies, contractors, doctors, lawyers, whatever, their conversion ratio is a lot lower. It's 1 to 3% on average, really. But you can use the traffic data, the projected traffic that you anticipate is going to start coming to the site after you start SEO and ads, and you can use that conversion ratio, that 1 to 3%, and you multiply 1 to 3% times the amount of traffic coming in, and that should tell you about how many new customers we should be able to drive to you. And then if you've done your job before the proposal meeting and the discovery call, you've already asked them, how much is an average customer worth to you? So let's say the average customer is worth $1,000. All right, cool. If they're spending, $3,500, $4,000 a month, I think I said $4,500 was the amount. That means we need to probably get at least 10 customers to 12 customers for them to be happy with the campaign. Why? Because that's $10,000 to $12,000. But they only spent $4,500. It's a 2 times return. It's a little more than a 2 times, but it's a 2 times return. So, how much different are the SOPs for SaaS? What are you talking about, James? SaaS is software as a service. Are you talking about selling go high level SaaS? Because SaaS is really just onboarding and training. Once you sell it, you onboard them, you might help them get their account set up, and then from there, they pretty much take it over, unless you're managing the campaigns for them, which you should be doing if you're smart. But if you're not managing their campaigns, it's just training. Outside of that, you might have SOPs for like cancellations, billing. So if people are like missing their payments or like their credit card gets declined 1 month because it expired or something, do you have an email sequence that goes out to them that says, hey, your card got declined. It looks like, your card might be expired, or maybe, it got deleted. Please update your payment information. But that's really it. There's not a lot of SOPs that you would implement for a SaaS company. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for this training program that I put together? Because we're about to head out tonight. Tonight went by really quick, but we got a lot of really interesting information out there. And I hope that I get to see all of you in the training program, because again, it's a free training boot camp for marketing agency owners, and all you got to do is go right down below in the description. You'll see that very top link at the top. That's for the training program. Just click join that Facebook group. Outside of that, I would say check out the Go High Level link, which is right below that. I promise you, if you use my link, I'm going to send you all of my email, text message scripts. Like, if you guys want to know how we get customers, we literally have automated processes that help us get these customers. And all you have to do is use my affiliate link. If you decide to use Go High Level, I'll send you over our SOPs and our email campaigns, text message campaigns, landing pages. We even have tons of different campaigns pre-built for all kinds of different industries, from solar to auto to medical to attorneys. We have pretty much everything out there. Are there any further paid services that your course will require after joining? Donald, so I'm not sure which course you're talking about. We have several, but primarily there's 3. There's the Digital Marketing School 2.0, there's the Done With You program, and we even have a Done For You program now. All of those are different, but essentially past any of those programs, you have to pay for your business license. It's anywhere from $150 to $200 depending on where you live. Your business license, again, that's a once a year cost, but like monthly costs, if you're smart, then you'll listen to us and use the software that we use. But it's probably another $150 a month, $130 a month to use all the software that we use until you need to scale that software up because you're taking on more clients. But that's it. It's not a lot. And if you think that's a lot, go and try and start any other business. Any other business. Literally, the only thing that might be cheaper is drop shipping. And that's because you don't pay for the product until it's already been purchased from you. But Go start a restaurant. Go start a doctor's office. Go start a detailing company. Go start a roofing company. Go start any other company. You will not find a company out there where your operational costs month to month are $150. You will not. But that's it for today, ladies and gents. I hope you guys take advantage of this opportunity. Seriously, it is a free training program. That's it. It's free. All you have to do is go join. And like I mentioned, make sure to check out the CRM link that's right below the Facebook group link in the description. If you guys use my affiliate link to join, I'm going to send you my email campaigns, text message campaigns, landing page campaigns for my agency. If you need other campaigns for different niches that you're wanting to work in, we have campaigns available for that. We have everything you need, guys. And all you have to do is join. Outside of that, make sure you check out my website, serialentrepreneur.academy. I have tons of blog content that's training over there that's also free. Tons of resources on my website to help you guys get your agency going in the right direction. Not to mention all of our different training programs. I have a mentorship program where we go live twice a week. If you guys are really looking to do this, I promise you we have all the resources that you could possibly need to do this successfully. And that's why I would put money on it that we have more successful students than any other training program out there, because we teach things in the right order and we teach the right information to allow you guys to succeed. So, who enjoyed tonight's training? Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up if you haven't already hit the thumbs up button. But give me some feedback. Did you guys enjoy it tonight? Or it wasn't even a training, but tonight's Q&A, did you guys enjoy it? Let me get some love from you guys. Let me see what you guys thought before I get out of here. It's been a long day. Been working since like 9:30 this morning, and it's 8:30. So about 11-hour day. It's a solid day. Solid day, mate. But outside of that, guys, I hope you guys paid attention. I hope you learned something tonight that you can take with you until next week. Again, the boot camp starts next week. It's Tuesday to Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, all 3 of those days. It's a limited group, meaning we're only taking so many members in, and it's only going to be open for a limited amount of time. So you really need to make sure that you're showing up, you're paying attention, and that you get in quick, because again, if you wait, you might not get accepted into the group. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I hope you guys have a great weekend. But if you need anything from me, you guys know how to reach me, facebook.com/serialentrepreneur. You can leave me comments on this video. You can go to my website, fill out one of our forms, set up a call with us. We do calls with you guys. These are not free training calls, so don't get it wrong. If you're interested in learning more about one of our courses or our training programs, we do sales-related calls where we'll talk about those programs. We'll talk about your business, kind of doing a little mini assessment to understand where you're at with your agency, what you can afford, and how we can help. But that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. You enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your night, and I will talk to you guys next week. We go live every single Thursday at 7:30 p.m. to help you guys build your agency to 6 figures, 7 figures, and beyond. But that is it for me. I'm going to get out of here. So until next time, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye, guys.